So, if y'all aren't up to speed with like what happened with this video, basically, first of all, hi YouTube. Here's part 2 of the video. Sorry I took so long to post it. I was busy. But there were 3 girls, 3 12-year-olds, okay? 2 of the 12-year-olds apparently they had schizophrenia, all right? And I guess they believed that like they used to watch like a lot of creepypasta with Slender Man and everything, so they were like so into Slender Man, they believed that Slender was real. So in order to like avoid Slender Man like getting them or some shit, they had to like they were trying to sacrifice their friend in order to like avoid that. So basically they took their friend, they stabbed her like 6 times, and then left her for dead, and by like out in the open, like near a highway or some shit. And she nearly died, but some guy had found her and reported to the police. And apparently like one of the stab wounds was like an inch away from hitting her heart. So yeah, she survived that shit, bro. But right now we're watching the interrogation. We're trying to see why they did what they did. I go, it's some crazy shit. So we gonna just watch this for the next hour or so, and then we'll move on.
Yeah. Not really. Sort of confusing because I've been trying to block out the screams all day.
Things are confusing. I've been trying to block out the screams. Shows another symptom here. Disorganized thinking, psychosis.
So how many times, so then how did you get the knife from Anissa?
She sort of just shoved it into my hand and there it was. And then I didn't know what I did. It sort of just happened.
These exaggerated, odd physical motions probably also stem from her mental illness.
It didn't feel like anything. It was like air.
So she put the knife in your hand, or what'd you do?
Then I just continued to... You know what happened, didn't you?
No, I actually really don't. Somebody else is like her.
As y'all can see, she's very mentally ill, bro. Like you could definitely see like the way she's acting, like she's like putting her arms in her shirt and everything. Like you can see she's like very nervous. But also, mind you, she has no empathy either, so she's a psycho.
Did you continue to stab her?
Mm-hmm. And then we decided that, and then Nisa said that it was enough, and then Bella was like, I can't see, and then...
If I stop her and
said, I'm sorry.
GTA.
This had to happen, and she was like, why? And then I said that it was necessary. I can't explain why. Please don't cut off my head.
Nobody's gonna cut off your head.
Don't cut off my head.
Not cut off her head.
Bro,
clearly
what?
Symptom material here. She may be having a precursor to a psychotic episode where she will stop understanding what's real and what is not. At this point, the interrogator has presumably already reasoned that Morgan is suffering from some mental illness or disease, and he will likely not engage with any odd behavior she may have in order to keep the questions moving forward and avoid exacerbating the symptoms. It's possible he has training in dealing with those suffering mental illness, as his answers to her strange questions seem to be worded very carefully.
Are you going to put me in prison and I'm going to rot and die?
What the fuck kind of question?
Comment goes to the persecution psychosis aspect of schizophrenia.
I don't think that you're going to prison, because I don't think you're going to rot and die there. We probably got to have somebody talk to you and try to figure out what the best circumstance is for you to make sure that you don't Detective Casey.
Notice how Morgan visibly jumps when hearing the phone ringtone. Increased sensitivity to stimuli is a part of the disease.
Wow.
Even Morgan's behavior when left alone in the interrogation room is intriguing. She sings the same Owl City song 2 different times, one which seems to be about mental health struggles. The song features lyrics like, I wish I had covered all my tracks completely, and Is that the light at the far end of the tunnel or just the train? The lyrics towards the end cover similar subject matter.
You just wake up and everywhere and hold on the outside. Sometimes I'm looking in.
The song talks about how help is on the way, so perhaps this is Morgan's way of trying to self-comfort. She also whispers to herself, fiddles with and appears to keep dosing herself with her inhaler, traces shapes on the wall with her fingers, hides inside of her shirt, and even pokes a hole in one of her booty socks. The whispering could potentially be her hearing voices in her head and trying to speak with them. But of course, we can't say for sure. When she's brought food, she takes out a few fries, pushes the rest away, and then eats off the table. This may be representative of some sort of dissonant social cognition deficit.
What kind of... Wait. What? Nah, okay, look. That... Is that really part... Nah, that can't be part of the illness. There's no way. Like, bro, that's just disgusting. I'm sorry. I can't even... Like, what's... Oh,
when she's brought food, she takes out a few fries, pushes the rest away, and then eats off the table. This may be representative of some sort of
Yo, Chips, ain't for the host, my boy. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Chips. How you doing, my boy?
Social cognition deficit. Later on, she dumps everything on the table and eats while pacing around the room, which is likely a sign of physical agitation or motor restlessness, which can be signs of either schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Morgan also gets up, goes under the table, and then walks around the room, touching things in some sort of pattern behavior. It's yet another classic sign of schizophrenia, though the underlying cause could have multiple origins. At one point, she even indicates indecision on whether she would like to see her parents.
I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but did you want to see your mom and dad a little bit here, or not really?
Nah, she's not normal at all, man.
Maybe.
You want to think about it for a little bit?
It's certainly not the answer you'd expect from a little girl from the upper Midwest, and could potentially indicate home problems. Although this isn't clear, especially when we take lines like this into consideration.
So when you got picked up, there was the purse. And what was inside the purse?
I don't remember what was all inside the purse. We put pictures of our family inside the purse because Anissa said we might never ever get to come back.
Pictures just closer.
Next, Morgan and Anissa will talk about what they did in the hours after the crime.
Did you do anything to try to help her?
No.
No.
There was nothing I could have done.
Did you think she was dead?
Oh no.
Why don't you
She
think
told me not to touch her, so I stopped touching her. I did try to help them.
I don't know if I believe that though. Like, I mean, just like you stabbed her. Like, why would you try to help her after you just try to kill her? I don't. That really clicked to me. That really doesn't click to me. I knew a chick that had schizo, and she started smashing and trashing cars in the school parking lot 107 times. Damn! What the fuck?
I tried to at least clean up her wounds so that she might have been able to.
Yeah, she's on something for sure.
There are countless possibilities of ways that the girls could have gotten help. So Morgan's response that there was nothing she could have done except try to clean Peyton's wounds is the result of either willful ignorance or a very bizarre thought process.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all literally tried to kill her. Like what else? Like just saying, yeah, you can't do anything. I mean, y'all have phones. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's the fucking 1900s, like 1980s or something like that. Like y'all have phones. Y'all could have called the police or something like that, but y'all didn't want to because y'all were afraid of getting in trouble and shit. So it's like, yeah, y'all are very, very fucked up. Even y'all are kids, y'all are still fucked up, literally, because you got like mental disease. But
It was a large relief, but she said, no, just don't touch me. I'm sorry, that must have sounded offensive.
The girls' accounts of their escape and not getting help goes to consciousness of guilt and can be used in court to show that they knew right from wrong and understood their actions, which could potentially be used to limit or negate an insanity plea.
Ooh. Ooh.
No, I just remember
That
that we
is
went forward
true.
and forward and forward, and then we passed a bunch of buildings, and we went through downtown Waukesha, we went everywhere, and actually we were singing the whole time. We took turns singing songs to each other. We were surprisingly calm, actually. It was like we hadn't just killed someone, or thought that we killed someone or stabbed anyone.
I don't care what y'all say, bro.
This was the point where Morgan alluded specifically to Slender Man.
Look, let me pause it. I don't care what y'all say. Look, as much as y'all want to deny it, kids are actually pretty scary. I'm glad of you. Kids are actually very scary. Like, you would think, oh, you know, they're just innocent. They couldn't hurt a fly. Nah, bruh. Believe me when I say, some kids are so, like, ignorant, and they're not, like, aware of their actions and shit. If they do some shit, it's almost like they didn't really they probably won't give a fuck about it, like, 5 minutes after, type of shit. I mean, look, I'm not saying all kids, but some kids are pretty fucking evil. I ain't gonna lie to you. They are pretty fucking evil, bro. They're menaces.
And for the first time,
known menaces.
And
For real.
we went into a few like ditches with forests and trees. And I remember we tried to find
Chips. Yeah, Chips.
Trying to find who?
That story.
Who's Slender Man?
He's
They sacrificed their friend because of Slender Man. That's crazy.
He's this tall, faceless man who preys on children. Because we were in a forest and we couldn't help ourselves.
So he's a tall, faceless man?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you trying to find him?
What?
Why are you trying to find him?
Because Anisha said he could help us. I sort of thought that he might kill us if we did find him, though, because he has a tendency to do that.
Have you ever met him?
No. You've never seen him.
Who tells you about him?
He's everywhere.
How do you know that?
A court-appointed forensic psychologist later shared her thoughts on the girl's delusions,
Pointing
pointing out, once you find this character on the internet, you can read all these stories that look real. They look like newspaper articles. It's hard for a lot of people to differentiate, let alone a 12-year-old.
Because I've read so many things about him.
Where did you read stuff about him?
It's called creepypasta. Anissa thinks he's real, and she also thinks Jeff the Killer's real because there's somebody in Milwaukee who's called a smiley face killer, and she thinks that Jeff the Killer's him. It was weird. I felt no remorse.
Look behind me. I'm fine.
I thought I would.
I'm good.
I still have this idea in my head that it was necessary.
So you
Bro,
don't
for real, for it.
It's weird that you didn't feel your remorse?
Mm-hmm. I actually felt nothing.
Her expression of feeling nothing shows emotion.
Wait a minute.
So you didn't feel
I still have no remorse. And she thinks Jeff is creepypasta.
Where did you read stuff about him?
It's called creepypasta. Anissa thinks he's real, and she also thinks Jeff the Killer's real because there's somebody in Milwaukee who's called a smiley face killer, and she thinks that Jeff the Killer's him. It was weird. I felt no remorse. I thought I would. Because I still have this idea in my head that it was necessary.
Yeah, she's insane. She's fucking insane. She's fucking insane. Lock her up.
So you didn't feel it was weird that you didn't feel your remorse?
Lock her the fuck up.
I actually felt nothing.
Her expression of feeling nothing shows emotionally flat or detached behaviors and perceptions, which can also be symptoms of schizophrenia.
Anissa had me sing for her. Because she said she was scared. And she wondered what we'd gotten ourselves into this time.
She explains why they risk going into the Walmart despite their bloody appearance.
We considered the fact that we might be, questioned why we were covered in blood, but then we decided it's Walmart. So, there are a lot of
That's normal?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's just normal, right? Okay.
There are pictures of people that are, pretty much naked at Walmart. So, nobody looks twice.
Anissa explained a bit more about their expectations involving Slender Man through this conversation she and Morgan had while on the run.
So I asked
The
Mr.
birds
Warren
keep
to be
the
sat
process
down
like shit like adults. Bro.
Talk to how far away we have to go. And then, why do you have to go far away? What was this discussion about? Supposedly, Morgan found out that Slender lives in the middle of. Slender has this big mansion that all the creepypastas supposedly live in. And it's supposedly in the middle of Nicollet National Park, or Forest, or whatever. Okay. Up in Little, Wisconsin.
Where are their parents?
So we were gonna walk the whole way.
I always wonder that. Where are their parents?
I realized it's really, really far.
Where are their parents, bro?
A quick internet search reveals that there are many people who have written
Crazy
and
stuff.
read fictional stories about living in the Slender Mansion with the creepypastas. The common fantasy seems to lie in being accepted as a part of the family of misfits, so to speak.
My nigga, is that Pikachu? Is that Squidward? What the fuck? You know what? I'm gonna just, yeah.
And so for Morgan and Anissa, who were having trouble fitting in at school and finding others who shared their interests, this kind of life was probably very enticing.
Because she wanted to walk to Slender. She knew that, that if we asked someone for directions or
That's
anything,
like Pops.
the police would probably be called because what isn't strange about a blonde girl with creepy eyes walking around with a blood-covered jacket? Then a girl next to her looking like this, wearing winter boots.
As she continues to explain their journey, we see more examples of her not fully appreciating the gravity of the act they'd just taken part in.
We were walking, and then finally I said, Morgan, I'm thirsty. Can I please sit in a hot? Can I please sit in the shade? And she said, sure. So we talked for like 30 minutes. I tried to eat like 2 different granola bars or something. One was an organic peanut butter one that I didn't like very much. I only took like 2 nibbles and said that tasted disgusting. And I only took 1 bite of that, and then I spit it out because I didn't feel so good.
I keep my circle close at school. Oh, for real.
Yet in the midst of being worried about the taste,
For real. Look, exactly. Chat. This is exactly why I only have a certain amount of people that I keep in my circle, bro. Simple as that. A lot of niggas I knew from high school, and even before then, I don't talk to them no more, bro. They don't know what I do. They probably don't. They don't know if I'm alive or not. Them niggas don't know about me. The fuck? It's just. I mean, even if I still talk to them to this day, I mean, again, them niggas don't know me. I don't really. It is what it is. I'm living my life and shit. They do what they gotta do.
Taste of granola bars, Anissa does show small flashes of guilt, like the mental processing of what they'd done was slowly creeping up on her.
Saying that he couldn't eat anything because I was still thinking of Bella.
So she's feeling guilt.
Where we left her dying.
I don't know. Okay, so
Sorry.
the fact that she's feeling guilt. I mean, I would say
So we
it's a good character trait, but also
keep walking before the police get on her too.
I would also say it's not good for her. It's not in her favor. It's not good
Walking, and then I had a
because now the attorney uses against her
everything
to prove that she's actually not insane.
You stabbed her. You wanted to do
That's
this.
crazy.
Okay, what we're gonna do then? Morgan's not one to cry very often, and then finally she just let go and started crying. And then I just needed to vent because I was scared.
What's intriguing here is seeing how the girls' self-preservation instincts far overruled any concern they might have had for Peyton's well-being. Anissa is about to name 2 reasons why she was scared, but neither have anything to do with what state Peyton might be in.
I was scared. I was scared, A, for myself, and B, for my family, because after we left Peyton in the woods, close to the marshy area that was nearby. He said, oh, and there was one thing I forgot to tell you. I kind of sort of made a deal with Slender, saying that if we didn't kill Bella, that he either would or could kill our families and everything we love. And I don't want that to happen, so that's why I did this.
Oh my God.
What Anissa just said would later become very important. Prosecutors would latch onto this statement that suggests Anissa only had the fear of her family being hurt after the stabbing, to argue that this scenario was never kill or be killed in her mind. A deputy district attorney would assert that in truth, Anissa went along with the murder plot because she was desperate to keep Morgan's friendship, and said it was therefore a choice she needed to be held criminally responsible for.
And then I got really scared then and started speed walking and trying to get myself out of there. I even started singing to myself to kind of calm myself down.
One thing that never seems to have crossed Morgan or Anissa's minds as they got further and further from the scene of their crime was any conflicted feeling over the possibility that they could go back and help their victim.
And then I said, stop crying. I laid down and there was a bunch of rocks close to the road. It was it's called a shoulder or something. So I was laying down there, and Morgan thought I was giving up and letting the hogs and everything go after me.
Anissa says she told Morgan to stop crying, that she was laying down there to cool off as she was too hot. But then she decided she didn't want to risk getting malaria from the mosquitoes there, and so they kept walking.
When I was still laying on the ground, I actually said, I've had enough of this. I want to call it Mom. I want to go home. And Morgan said, if you do that, you'll spend your life in prison. Either that or be executed. Why did she find you for that? Because she told me that the consequences for murder were being murdered yourself, I believe. When did she tell you that? After I wanted to call it.
Are they right now? Let's see. This happened probably around 2012, 2013, I believe. So they're probably 20, probably 20, 21, 22 probably. They're the early 20s.
What did you think was going to happen after you stabbed Peyton?
I don't really know. I figured that I'd get in trouble eventually though. Because, Mommy always says that whatever you do catches up to you eventually. And it did.
Morgan continues to demonstrate a complete lack of emotional connection to this crime.
Did you guys think about what would happen to you?
I did. Anissa didn't seem to think anything would happen. One time she said, can we go home yet? And I said, no, we're going to get arrested if we go home. And then she said, oh yeah, I forgot, thanks Morgan. And then I said, okay.
Although we can't be sure if Morgan's story here really happened, since she's inherently an unreliable source, Anissa asking if they could go home already would only build on the idea that this plot may have felt almost make-believe in her mind. She likely got swept up in the fantasy of running away to live with the characters she'd been reading so much about. But in the back of her mind, she may have still held on to the wishful thinking that she'd be able to go home and eat dinner with her family like nothing happened. Finally, Anissa described the moments.
Imagine your kid coming back home from school and you had no idea, knowing that they literally stabbed the kid and left them for dead. That shit's crazy. That's why I tell y'all, bro, kids are scary. Kids are fucking scary. You think they're innocent the whole entire time, or literally they are not.
Started walking again, and then we kept walking straight for a while, and then we saw Steinhoffel, and then I said it.
They went into the furniture store to refill their water bottles and grab some extra fruit snacks for the road. They then went outside and sat by a tree.
Morgan started contemplating on whether or not we should face our consequences or keep going. So then I laid down on the grass, and that's when one of the deputies said, "Put your hands in the air where I can see them," and then they got us. Okay. When he started talking to me, I said, "I'm scared." I was told that if I didn't do something for someone, my family would be in danger. And then he said, "You're safe now, don't be scared." Then he put me in the back of the car, and then I watched Morgan. I don't know what I said to her because I couldn't hear anything. Right. And then after like 30 minutes, they brought us here. Okay.
4 hours and 30 minutes after Peyton was found, at approximately 2:30 p.m., Morgan and Anissa were apprehended on the intersection of Highway 164 and Interstate 94. A Good Samaritan driving by had seen a post on Facebook, spreading the word to look out for the two girls on the run. They recognized them immediately before calling 911, tracking their movements and relaying the information to authorities. When the girls settled down to take a break, the police arrived and intercepted them soon after. The officer drew his sidearm at the girls and ordered them to put their hands in the air, to which they complied. The girls were soaked in blood, but things were about to get even more disturbing.
Okay, so I do movie nights usually every other Sunday. Alright, so the way it's set up is like one Sunday, for example, if I do movie nights, the following Sunday I'll do anime night. And it's so on and so forth, and then, that's how it is. So this upcoming Sunday, I'm doing an anime night because I wasn't able to do one last week. So Sunday, anime night.
Morgan's reaction to the officers was utterly bizarre, and it was clear that she was either detached from reality or putting on some sort of act. As more officers arrived on the scene, Morgan asked, "Did I kill her? Is she dead?" Police found the backpack Morgan had packed that morning and began to dig through, finding food, water bottles, the 5-inch kitchen knife, and Morgan and Anissa's family photos. As the officers were observing the blood stains on Morgan's clothing, they asked her where the blood had come from. She replied that she was forced to kill her best friend.
Oh my God.
While the authorities waited for custody to be transferred to Waukesha Police Department, an officer asked Morgan what she was thinking. Morgan explained that she was thinking about Spock, the Star Trek character, and his girlfriend. The officer was obviously caught off guard and asked her to explain further, and she elaborated that Spock and his girlfriend were gross, as Spock could not feel emotion, and he apparently should not be kissing a woman. Once apprehended, Morgan began to softly sing to herself.
The character on television.
In the rear of the squad car, she stated, "What, are you gonna execute me for killing her?"
What?
What do you think should happen to somebody that stabs somebody?
Wait. ain't no way she asked that when she got put in the car. Nah, that's psychotic. That's fucking psychotic, bro. Oh my God. That is actually psychotic.
I expected that I'd either get put in some sort of place, or I expected I'd either get put in prison or an insane asylum. I didn't know what to expect. I don't think I'm insane though.
One type of delusion is a grandiose one, in which a person develops an overinflated sense of power or knowledge and may believe they have a great talent. You'll see this manifested in Morgan's next statement.
I guarantee you, if she got put in Squid Game, bro, she would not give a fuck about your life. I promise you that. She would not give a fuck about anybody's life in that bitch. She'd be a good candidate. She'd be a good candidate for the final 5. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not gonna cap to you.
I've learned to make myself numb to pain on command.
What does that mean?
Vulcan mind tricks.
So you ever tried to hurt yourself?
The interrogator asks about self-harm, clearly looking to elicit additional symptoms of her mental disease.
Not really. Sometimes I do.
What do you mean?
Most of the time it's not even on purpose.
What do you mean by hurt yourself?
Oh, I just fall down the stairs a lot, and sometimes I just do
Oh yeah?
Accidentally like do this instead of this or something.
Yeah. Fall down the
Schizophrenia
stairs.
is debilitating in many ways, and psychomotor problems can also be a symptom, including clumsiness and unusual mannerisms, which could be the underlying cause of the ways Morgan says she accidentally hurts herself.
So you guys thought about hurting anybody else, or
Am I sick?
just
Nah.
Bella?
Sometimes I need to slap people in the face for no reason, like
Fly in
me.
my throat.
How about stabbing people? You ever thought about stabbing anybody else?
Only jokingly. Not seriously thought about it.
So not really, or not seriously?
Not really. I wanted to hurt people before, but they're not nice to me, so they deserve it.
But Bella's nice to you. Why did you want to hurt her?
Because it was necessary.
And why was it necessary?
I don't know.
Her thinking is disorganized on the topic of why it was necessary to kill Peyton, once more demonstrating the symptom of disorganized or disconnected thoughts. In their interrogations, the girls were asked about the specifics of how long they'd been planning this murder, which will of course go to determining premeditation. Morgan's interrogator would later emphasize, "It wasn't until we started talking with the girls that we really knew it was two 12-year-old girls that have planned for 6 months to kill their friend."
So you're very close with Morgan.
They planned this shit for 6
Since
months?
October, you've been involved in reading the creepypasta since, like November or something. And in December or January, Morgan, who also is into creepypasta, did you introduce her to it, or did she already know about it?
She said that she's seen Slender also in like old pictures that she has.
Okay.
So I told her about them, and then she said, "Oh my God, I think I saw Slender when I was like 5, because she supposedly used to live in like a really heavily wooded area.
Okay.
Slender likes to stay in woods."
Wooded area. Okay.
A shared psychotic disorder, also known as folie à deux, or madness of two, occurs when a person starts to take on the delusions of someone with a psychotic disorder such as schizophrenia. It's a rare phenomenon, but this unlucky friendship created a cycle wherein the girls would only feed into, validate, and strengthen one another's false beliefs and determination.
So in December and January, Morgan approaches you and says,
That's actually very interesting.
tells you that you should be proxies of Slender, or puppets. And you say, okay, well, how do we do that? And she says, well, we have to kill Bella, or Peyton, right? And this will prove ourselves.
I don't like how I keep hearing my Twitch name throughout the video.
I can hear my interesting about the video. I feel that.
Worthy to Slender.
It's truly fascinating how different both girls' understanding of their plan was. Anissa saying that Morgan told her explicitly that they had to kill Peyton to become proxies, while Morgan still can't even put a finger on why Anissa supposedly said it was necessary. It seems that groupthink, or the desire for cohesion and consensus outweighing the desire to make the right decision, may have played a big role here. If either girl started coming to their senses or having doubts about whether or not they should go through with trying to murder their friend, they may have kept it bottled up in order to be a good friend and not upset their partner. There may also be pluralistic ignorance at play here, in which each girl believed that the other held more extreme beliefs than themselves about the matter. This could have caused both girls to go along with the scheme, thinking that their partner was completely gung-ho about it, while both secretly held reservations and privately disagreed with many aspects of the plan. However, the more we hear from Anissa and Morgan, the harder it becomes to tell who, if anyone, was the true leader of this operation.
And what would that do for you? Does that get Slender to like you? Or to feel important?
Technically, if you're a proxy, you have to live in, supposedly you live in Slender Mansion and take orders directly from him.
So that'd be neat to you? You would enjoy that, or you think that's kind of cool? at the time?
It was, at the time it was really cool, but I wanted to prove all skeptics wrong.
Okay.
Morgan and Anissa were completely swept up into a fantasy world, and with the lines between reality and fantasy beginning to blur, things were becoming incredibly dangerous. In the months before their plan, Morgan and Anissa's internet activity took a dark turn. Morgan began searching phrases such as how to cover up a murder, what makes your conscience feel guilty about killing someone, or homicides, what kind of insane am I, and what happens if I get caught murdering someone.
What
among other searches such as Slenderman cute, can you get arrested for killing someone in self-defense, proxy the Slenderman wiki, and how to cover up a murder /YouTube. Morgan would actually go on to curiously ask her interrogator about self-defense as well.
Isn't it legal to stab someone if they try to stab you first?
This girl
Is it self-defense?
In some situations.
I mean, shit.
What do you think?
I mean, honestly, she's 12 years old, so I don't blame her, but, bro, you're stupid. Like, literally stupid.
That's what happened here?
Oh no, I'm just wondering.
On May 10th, Morgan had emailed Anissa, delete everything I've ever sent you, and then clear your deleted email. You will not be emailed further on this subject. Explain more at school.
Yeah, and when was it planned that you were going to kill Bella? Was it planned right away when you guys were planning a birthday party, or?
No, Morgan said around the end of December, beginning of January. Again, I know how we can become proxies. We have to kill Bella.
Okay.
So I said, and then after I was wondering when, so I asked her when, and she was like, oh, every year my mom said that for my birthday, I can have 2 friends over, and it's definitely going to be a sleepover.
Do you always have a sleepover?
I did last year too. It was more fun last year though, obviously.
Anissa claims that the two only met the previous October, meaning their friendship would have only been growing for about 2 months before they began to plan a murder together.
Was there anything said about trying to become a proxy or being a proxy at that time?
We kind of talked about it discreetly on the bus every now and then.
And what did you talk about?
Like, ways to defend ourselves from, like, wild animals and all that, like badgers, and, just random things we might need to know. It was...
Like if you live in the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever talk about killing Bella in the bus at the birthday party?
Not very often. We did sometimes, but we made sure we whispered.
And when you whispered, why was that?
So that nobody else would hear. Granted, the bus is really loud, but people are eavesdroppers.
If somebody heard, what were you concerned if somebody heard?
That
they lied me
we would
upon
be in
shit
prison for the rest of our life for doing this.
on the hub. Genesis.
Did you know it's wrong? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Where
The interrogator
where
is
did we
looking
even
for
get the
ways to
porn?
corroborate the
Why are
story,
we talking?
such as interviewing other
Whatever,
students
bro.
who regularly took the bus.
Whatever.
This is a standard police investigation method. Anissa's admission that they whispered in order to avoid getting in serious trouble indicates awareness and understanding of the wrongness of their plan at that point in time. Legally, insanity may come and go, and courts will consider sanity both at the time of the crime as well as before and after.
Rule 34 goes
When does
crazy.
it ultimately come to the decision that it's going to happen at the birthday
You got
party?
a sex taste with your girlfriend.
That was made in February. Morgan said, I confirmed with my mom I'm having a birthday party. We used code words like, for knife, we used cracker. For the killing, we would use words like it, the deed. For the place we were trying to go, Nicolette, we would use like camping trip and all that. Up north, camping trip.
These code words show significant planning
So
and
that's
surreptitious
sexist
behavior,
text.
which goes towards establishing knowledge of guilt. The girls might have used code words and whispered, but in reality, they were not the only people who knew of their plan. Following the crime, investigators spoke with local students and school staff, and that's where they uncovered some truly shocking information. A few weeks before the stabbing occurred, one concerned girl had come forward to let an adult know that Anissa was claiming she had found a way to become a proxy for Slender Man and needed to kill someone as part of that plan.
Whoa.
It was believed that the guidance counselors at Morgan and Anissa's middle school were also aware of this.
Whoa.
Officers tracked down the counselor, who the student was reported to have confided in about her worries with Anissa. However, the woman claimed she couldn't recall ever being approached about such a matter. However, a social worker who was employed at Morgan and Anissa's middle school at the time of the incident did reveal that a student had later come to her expressing feelings of guilt. Why? Because she said Anissa had asked her to be part of the stabbing before it occurred. She felt ashamed that she had this knowledge and hadn't done something about it. One girl, who was actually a junior in high school, told authorities Anissa was her best friend and that the two had enjoyed talking about creepy and dark things. This friend also remembers Anissa saying she had discovered that killing a friend would allow her to become Slender Man's proxy. But at the time, the girl says she just dismissed it as a goofy thing. One classmate would later testify in court that Anissa had hinted about killing a friend, but then assured her, "Don't worry, it's not you." It's disturbing and unfortunate just how many people knew about Morgan and Anissa's dark plan, but didn't take their words seriously enough. Until it was far too late. Here, the girls describe what their original plan was.
So originally I thought it was, we go to bed around 8, Morgan set the alarm on her Kindle to like 2 a.m. and puts big headphones on.
Oh my god, where? Where is he? Oh my god.
We kill Bella, put her under some covers, make it look like she was sleeping, and then we run.
And just leave her at Morgan's house. That was the original plan?
Yeah, until it changed. We were still planning on waking up really early, but Morgan was being really nice that day, and she let me sleep in like
on my side. Oh yeah?
45 minutes.
On that day, maybe
at the sleepover last night.
So she was being nice, what do you mean?
Sometimes she can be kind of mean, but that's only like when she's threatened. I thought we were going to Scaland the next day.
Okay.
But we were in reality going to Scaland that night.
And so that messed up the timeline?
For me it did.
Did you originally make that first plan? Is that why?
She made the first plan. I just kind of went along with it and tweaked some things.
Okay.
What was your plan originally when you guys were gonna kill Bella?
Oh my god.
Well, she was sleeping, so we didn't have to look in her eyes.
How were you doing when you were sleeping?
That's still fucked up.
I don't know. It didn't work out very well, obviously.
What do you mean?
Meaning, we couldn't have... Well, actually, Anissa was very prepared to go with it, but...
So who was prepared to go with it? Anissa?
Anissa was very prepared to do it that night, but then...
Who was that last one?
Yeah. I found many flaws in her plan, such as the fact of exhaustion. I know how she is with her sleep. It would never have worked. It didn't work this time, obviously, and we're never going to try again, because I hope I never have to see Anissa.
I hope I didn't scare you, Sean, baby.
Many of the things Morgan chooses to say about Anissa suggests a feeling that Anissa is beneath her in some way. And here, with her harsh statement that she hopes she never has to see Anissa again, just hours after planning to run away with her forever, we can see just how fast she was able to turn against her friends, further illustrating to see beneath many of the...
Try again. It would never have worked. It didn't work this time, obviously, and we're never going to try again, because I hope I never have to see Anissa again.
Many of the things Morgan chooses to say about Anissa suggests a feeling that Anissa is beneath her in some way. And here, with her harsh statement that she hopes she never has to see Anissa again, just hours after planning to run away with her forever, We can see just how fast she was able to turn against her friends, further illustrating her difficulty with maintaining healthy social relationships.
NGL bro, if I was the interrogator, she's catching a clean right hook.
Bro.
Sean, if you're gay, say hey.
Anyways, you see, Flight, I feel that, bro, but like, bro, look, you as an interrogator, you can't even do that shit because your ass gonna end up right in the same exact spot where they are. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man.
And when she was sleeping, how were you gonna do that?
Just the same way we did now, except
Good, Chicken Juice. How you doing, bro?
we probably duct tape her mouth shut or something. I don't know. Whichever way would be the most logical, if there's any logic in killing people, which I don't think there is, actually.
So if you guys were duct tape, do you guys have duct tape?
Actually, it worked out quite well. Bella got me duct tape for my birthday, and Lisa was like, ooh, and I was like, Lisa, it won't work like that. Because she doesn't understand that what it does to you psychologically when you don't get any sleep, and what the guilt can do to you that you will nevertheless have constantly underlying if you feel.
Kill somebody for $500.
Zeno needs to be watched.
Yeah, definitely, Khalil. In GTA, Xeno is be watched? Why? What's Xeno doing? What does Xeno do, bro?
Someone both of which mixed together would cause a mental breakdown.
Even when considering the lifelong guilt attached with murder, Morgan remains cold, calculating, and logistical in her evaluation.
I never really did think that plan would work because it is the dead of night and how on earth are we supposed to do anything such as hide the body, so I didn't think it would work, personally. I thought
So originally the plan was to duct tape and stab her, but you didn't think it was a good idea?
I thought that we'd just make
If you're no Michael Myers, tell that bitch ass nigga that I'm ready for my ones.
Hey, yo. I think Michael Myers coming after you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because you can still scream if your mouth is shut, like smiling. I definitely still scream because one time in like first grade I talked with my mouth closed a lot. I sort of didn't want it to be today though because it would be nice to have a normal sleepover.
For Peyton, everything did seem normal at first, and that just makes the whole thing even more disturbing. She says as the trio skated together at the roller rink and ate frozen yogurt, she never had any idea of the insidious.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, apparently if you watched the original Halloween, like from 1 to 6, you could obviously see that nigga is definitely immortal, because that nigga has died several times and he has not fully been dead yet. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Insidious plan they were hiding. The only thing that was odd in hindsight was that she noticed Morgan wanted to go to bed early, whereas at all of their past sleepovers, she would always want to stay up all night. But of course, such a small deviation in behavior could never have tipped Peyton off to what was really going on.
I honestly don't know why we did this.
When Morgan says, "I don't know why we did this," this might actually be a truthful statement. If the crime was conceived during episodes of psychosis, the real Morgan may not have any knowledge or understanding of what the psychosis Morgan was thinking or saying or doing during those episodes. Morgan describes that she actually didn't set the alarm, which was supposed to wake her up through headphones and instigate their plan to attack in the middle of the night.
I tricked Denise into falling asleep telling her that I'd wake up 2 in the morning so that she could feel Bella. I wanted to give her at least one more morning.
So you're supposed to set the
Jason
alarm for
Voorhees is a
2:30
man
a.m.
who was Down syndrome and scared of water.
You said Anissa was mad when she woke up.
That's true.
Not very because she was sleepy and stuff.
That is actually true.
She was.
That's why Michael
Fuck
Myers.
that immortal shit, I'm on some Dragon Ball shit. Psych, that nigga would give me a slow painful death. Let me stop.
Look here, bro. I just want you to know, look. Jason Voorhees is afraid of water, bro.
Cap.
What is Michael Myers afraid of? What? His mask ain't taken off? I mean, that's about it, really. But most of the time, niggas ain't gonna take off the nigga's mask because he's gonna just cut you. You feel me? So it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. This just come out wired in movies, though. Yeah, I don't know.
Jason Voorhees destroys Michael Myers NGL.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. Like I said, both of them are technically immortal when you think about it. I don't think any of them could die for being 100%.
I'm just happy either.
So how would you describe her when
Again.
disappointed?
Mm-hmm.
I think disappointed is a good word to use.
Yes.
What's strange about this is you'll recall that Anissa framed it very differently. She thought Morgan was being nice that morning by allowing her to sleep in, which is obviously very different from Morgan's claim that Anissa was frustrated and disappointed with the failed plan.
And I didn't think it would work. I didn't think any of this would work from the start. Things like this never work out. From what I've read and heard and...
You wanted to give Bella one more date?
I wanted to see if I could put it off forever, but it didn't seem to work out like that. So...
Interestingly, Anissa also claimed that she wanted to put the crime off for a while.
Morgan then said, we have to kill Bella today. And I was like, but can't we stay another night and do it tonight? Because I was still kind of scared and kind of hopeful.
Scared and kind of hopeful. What do you mean?
Like, I was scared because A, I would never see my family again.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I was kind of hopeful to prove that I wasn't crazy. That I wasn't seeing things. Because even I saw Slender a few times. And I think that was probably my mind playing tricks on me.
When was this before the party that you saw Slender? You've seen him before?
Twice. Once, well, they were both on a bus. We ride the same bus. Just to and from school. So we were, talking on the bus. I look out the window and I see this, supposed thing standing like this, with tendrils, looks exactly like a tree. They were going like that.
Nah.
Claiming that she saw Slender Man before
Halloween
is a
has the
major
most
reality
immaculate
disconnect.
soundtrack of any horror movie, and Michael is shitting on Jason. The more Michael kills, the stronger he gets.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know about y'all, but Michael Myers is pretty fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, y'all gotta realize. This nigga Michael Myers, bro, he literally killed his own sister, and I think he killed his mother too. Did he kill his family? He literally killed his family. This nigga obviously don't give a fuck about anyone else's life. I mean, Jason doesn't either. Actually, Jason really only cares about killing, like, I don't know.
Bro,
like,
Jason literally teleports and he's 6 feet 6 inches and built like Hulk.
Okay, Michael can teleport too. And he's built big angle light, and he's built bigger than Jason's. What you mean? Actually, matter of fact, they're built the same. They're being 100%. So I don't know. I mean, your argument is not really selling here. I don't know.
And I told Morgan, and so I actually thought that he was real.
Wow, that's like, hold up a second, bro. I'm sorry, I'm cutting in the middle of the video here, but I just gotta check something real quick. He's 6'7". Holy shit. What's he over here doing trying to stab and kill niggas? Bro, put that nigga put that nigga as a fucking center. What the fuck? Nigga over here trying to stab niggas. You were about the wrong.
He's still got nothing on me.
I tried to do one like the Twitter post. I tried my best, bro. 6'5". See that? See our flight? Look at that. Look at that. See, you fucked up there. See that? Jason Voorhees 6'5", Michael Myers 6'7". So point stands. You fucked up. All right, you were wrong. You were wrong on that.
Because I saw him.
After Morgan
What,
finishes
weapons?
explaining their plan A,
Weapons don't
the
mean nothing.
interrogator goes back to get more details.
Weapons honestly don't mean anything, bro. Like, literally, I mean, Michael Myers has a fucking kitchen knife, and Jason Voorhees has a machete. But we're being 100% here. Michael Myers has killed more people with a kitchen knife than Jason Voorhees has with his machete. So, I think Michael Myers got it, bro.
I can take on both of them.
Take on both of them? Yeah, okay.
About the act they actually ended up carrying out. But Morgan seems once again impatient with the repeated query.
What did you do next?
I already told you.
What was that?
Stab, 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 stab.
Did you try to stab her before that?
No.
Oh my
Did you guys
god.
go to the park?
Yes.
What happened at the park?
In the park, we played, and she went on the swing. I was in the bathroom.
What happened in the bathroom?
It's good, Nut. How you doing, bro?
Socially, this type of response may be typical for a frustrated and immature person. But as Morgan has already given this answer multiple times under similar circumstances, it is unclear why she chooses now to get snappy.
So then after the bathroom, where did you go down?
I already told you.
Where is that?
Over by the trees at the dead end.
And what did you do there?
Stabby, stab, 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 stab.
Stabby, stab, 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 stab.
What's that?
I already told you.
Her repeated utterances of just simply stab, 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 stab might be indicative of thought blocking. Morgan is being asked to repeat her story, which is a common interrogation tactic, but to her it is an annoyance, as if she has better things to be doing.
And then Anissa did the jumpy thing and said, now
What do you mean
Morgan.
the jumpy thing?
She jumped on Bella.
You know what happened?
What?
What happened?
I've been chilling, Nut.
And then we stabbed her.
I just been chilling, bro.
She even goes so far as to ask this bold question.
And then I went and looked for them.
You know what happened?
Then I found them.
What happened?
Wait, what question she
Tried to
asked?
play again. What?
What happened then?
And then
Wasting
Anissa did the jumpy
500
thing and
points
said,
because
now
I
What do you mean
Morgan.
the jumpy thing?
How are you all doing,
She jumped
bro?
on Bella.
You know what happened?
What?
What happened then?
And then we stabbed her.
She even goes so far as to ask
Why'd she say it like that? What the fuck?
Me and
this
Shy are
bold
in love.
question.
That it all.
And then I went
Bro,
to look
that
for
is-
them.
You know what happened?
Then I found them.
I'll put in a good word for you, I guess.
Tried to play again. And then Anissa jumped on Bella again. Like I just said.
You know what happened?
Are you trying to do this over and over again and see if I tell the story
Sean is
differently?
rich. I've
I'm
given
just
him
trying to make
so
sure that
much
you're
money
right,
it's
that I don't make any
crazy.
mistakes.
I'm a broke
So then she
boy.
jumped on her, and where did you get the knife from?
The bag.
So you took the knife out of the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and then what?
Morgan has also been diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, which entails a frequent and persistent pattern of anger, irritability,
Opposition
arguing,
defiant
defiance,
disorder.
or vindictiveness towards peers, parents, teachers, and other authority figures.
And then
I never
she
knew that was a
got
thing.
stabbed.
What the fuck?
Who stabbed her?
Both of us.
Lying shit. I'm not
Who
lying,
stabbed her
though.
first?
How am I supposed to remember that?
Sean got 200 mil in the bank as we speak.
Just gotta try
You
to
guys
have
are
some
actually
trades.
hilarious.
Anissa or me, one of the two, of course, but I don't know.
What this illustrates is a typical symptom of schizophrenia called a deficit in social cognition. There is a lack of appropriate processing in social interactions and relationships. Morgan certainly has many moments of getting frustrated with the interrogator.
Did you have anything first, or did she? Did
I have
it?
the right not to go into detail about it if I don't want to.
Okay. Before you said you didn't remember, you just don't want to tell
I
me?
don't really remember. It happened really, really fast.
How many times do you think it was?
I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to count.
How many do you
I've
think?
given
Like
this
1 or
man
2
so
or
much
5?
money in
10,
gifts. Bits and
50?
donos, it's crazy.
100? I don't
He's
know.
rich.
I'm not rich, though.
I think she'd be dead if it was 100.
However, there are also
And
moments like
besides,
this where
if we're being 100% here, if you were to give me all those money, wouldn't that make you the rich man, not me? All right, I don't have that money. If you supposedly give me that money, that would make you the rich boy, not me. I'm broke.
we can see just a bit of Morgan appearing to struggle with the morality of what she's done.
I'm sorry for putting you through all this trouble, sir.
No, I'm trying to do this. I think that you need some help, somebody to talk to, and try to work out some of these things that you got going on.
What do you mean?
Well, thinking about, what does he call this guy? Mr. Slim?
This is about me.
Slender Man?
Slenderman?
I'm broke now.
I mean, those thoughts
Also,
probably aren't real. And to think about
I guess
stabbing
we can all
one of
agree
your
to
good
disagree.
friends probably isn't the best thoughts to be having.
To get a better idea of just how extreme Morgan's disease is, schizophrenia symptoms usually begin in late adolescence or early adulthood, making an onset younger than the age of 18 uncommon and a diagnosis before 13 extraordinarily rare. Estimates claim that at the very most, only 1 in every 100 adult schizophrenia patients developed it while still a child.
Right?
That's weird. That's freaky
probably
though, bro.
not.
So you know that that's wrong to do.
Like, bro, imagine being like schizophrenic at like a very young age. Like, most people wouldn't even be able to like process that shit. They like most kids, they wouldn't even know what's going on with them. Really, that's the scary part.
Do right? Yes, no, maybe.
But lots of people have seen Slender Man.
But how about stabbing your friend? You think that's right or wrong?
Probably wrong. If it were right, I wouldn't be here.
That's right. You can't go around stabbing people, so that's why I think that maybe you gotta talk to somebody to get some of these things worked out so you don't go around doing this anymore.
But the question is, deep down, did the girls truly believe that Slender Man was going to target them if they didn't do this? At a few moments in the interrogations, we can garner a little insight into their headspace.
When Morgan said to you that if we don't do this for Slender, our families and loved ones are going to be killed, do you honestly believe that?
Well, yeah, because he could be anywhere from 6 feet to 14 feet tall. He's, like I said, a tall guy who constantly wears a suit with a red tie. He doesn't have a face. His skin is white. And at his own will, he can, exploit these tendrils from his back.
Bro, these kids really believe that Slender Man's a real guy, bro.
For the creepypasta, when he said he targets children.
Like, they really believe this man's a whole,
I
whole
was
thing.
really scared, knowing that Slender could easily kill my whole family in 3 seconds.
So, how did you learn about Slender and creepypasta?
I first heard about it on YouTube. I was watching a Minecraft mod showcase
Someone say
by
pizza? No. No, you don't.
guy. This guy does Minecraft or something.
Okay.
And it said it was the creepypasta mod. So I was like, hey, what's a creepypasta? I watched the whole video and I was like, oh, that's interesting. A few months later, I asked my friend Kelly, the one who I got the skull bracelet from.
Okay.
I asked her who that Jack or Jeff or killer was from the creepypasta. And then she told me about Alice Jack and Laughing Jack. Laughing Jack is supposed to be
Laughing Jack. Do you want some candy, kiddo? Imagine watching a scary movie with schizophrenia legit. Schizophrenia is legit. I wouldn't even close an eye to sleep again. These kids are just accepting this nigga as a companion, bro. For real. That is some Trump, bro. That is actually gonna be. You be so, bro.
NGL Sean, you need to start
Ashby,
reacting to try not to get scared videos.
Try not to get scared videos.
When's your birthday, the 6th?
The 6th. Try not to get scared videos. I mean, I don't really get scared watching. Trying to get scared videos. I don't really get scared. I don't know. Nothing really scares me anymore watching like movies or anything. So that's not gonna happen. No, my birthday's on the 24th. Chat. Matter of fact, my birthday's in 22 days. 22 days, y'all.
A clown that also targets children. And
Kobe.
Then, eyelash Jack.
For Kobe.
He wears a blue fawn mask, no mouth. 2 big black holes for eyes, and that are like oozing this weird black ooze.
That's kind of crazy.
And then, supposedly he eats.
Old ass man.
Wow.
The interrogator plays along with the bizarre fantasy, giving understanding O's here and there. Although we can't be sure if Anissa truly believes this story or is trying to appear disconnected with reality as a part of her defense, she does retain eye contact and consistent body language that she's had this whole time, which suggests she's telling the truth, at least as she perceives it.
Aren't you all happy for Sean's 45th birthday?
I iPad and I go to the creepypasta wiki, and then there's
Sean turning 50 in 21 days. Blackcrosses 83 hype.
I read whichever rated one comes up.
Can y'all knock it off, please?
So in reading these, you truly believe that Slender exists, that there's Slender out there.
Not anymore, because we like asked for his help when Morgan and I were having nervous breakdowns, and he didn't do anything. Nothing happened.
Before this today, leading up to and even after,
while we were walking and having a nervous breakdown while I was laying
Thank you, good looks.
Sean, your back hurts yet, you old
If
head.
you're listening, please help us. And he says having a nervous breakdown, and then she started kind of crying.
but you truly believe before
Yeah,
even
beforehand I believed, but now I know that it's just teenagers.
Oh, God, I'm out of points.
Really like
Hey, Og, can I get a gifted?
It's interesting to note how
And
Anissa
it's calling
claims to
me
now
old.
realize she was being fooled about the existence of
And
Slenderman.
45 years old.
If she
and all that
believed in the
shit.
lore so deeply that she was
Now
willing
you're
to
asking for a
partake in the
gift,
murder
dude.
of her friend, would she really be able to change all her preconceptions about the matter in the span of just this day? Was this traumatic experience enough to snap her out of it? The only other options would seem to be that she either never really believed in it in the first place, or she secretly still believes in it now.
Who's this creepy guy that you're talking about?
What's wrong?
Is it Slim or Slender or something?
Slender Man.
Slender Man, who's that?
He's very tall.
Have you ever met him?
Not exactly.
Tell me about him.
He watches you.
How does he watch you?
Sean,
He
you
can
look
read
like a nice
minds
and
he
healthy
has
young man.
teleportation skills.
Now can I get my points
Morgan's
back?
mother would later reveal that Morgan had been experiencing
Thank you,
visual
Forrest.
hallucinations
And
since
no.
3 years old. One being a tall, slender, shadowy visual hallucinations since 3 years old. One being a tall, slender, shadowy
Hey,
figure.
OG, you
She
wanna
believes
hoop
this
with
early
us?
influence was what ultimately solidified Morgan's later belief in the existence of Slender Man.
You see him in your dreams, or where do you see him at?
Oh, I've seen him in my dreams.
Huh.
You start to get something that people call slender sickness. If he's like following you or if you meet him because of the stigma radiation that he emits. Which is also like cameras don't work around him. Why do you guys know about Slender Man?
Because I think Slender Man might have something to do with what's going on with you today.
Oh,
Did you feel bad? That you just stabbed one of your best friends?
I thought about it, but then I decided that remorse will get me nowhere.
Wow.
It's easier to live without regrets if you can just decide that you don't want to feel. But don't you?
Don't do
That's kind of psychotic.
When don't you rather not feel things if you don't? It's a negative emotion. What's the point of feeling it?
it. So you don't have to do it again or just stay away
But
from
Yeah, I feel like these girls belong in like horror movies, bro.
I can't do it again.
They're the same weird girls you find in horror
If
movies.
something's bad, then you don't do it anymore.
So when she said that we have to kill Bella to prove ourselves worthy to Slender, you were surprised but excited at the same time to prove that he said that to prove all the skeptics wrong. And you feel as though you, in order to do this, you physically had to kill somebody?
Yes.
Okay.
The interrogator confirms that Anissa actually believed they had to kill someone. This is an intent question as to whether or not the suspect believed they merely had to pretend to do something, negating intent, or actually had concluded they needed to do it and had resolved to go through with the act, intent more likely confirmed. Many of these queries are trying to establish if Anissa formed the necessary mens rea, or state of mind, to be part of a murder plot. Mens rea refers to criminal intent and can be translated to guilty mind. We're looking at if the defendant committed the offense with a culpable state of mind.
That's what creepypastas are about.
Okay.
Even seemingly nice creepypastas, like Music Keeps Me Calm, are about killing.
And you know what happens when you kill somebody? Like physically what happens to a person, not legally, but like what would that do to you? Like, do you understand what it means to kill somebody?
The interrogator asks if Anissa knows what it means to kill someone, probing at her mental state and ability to comprehend the gravity of the crime.
When you look at it from,
Sounds like a nose onto you. What y'all talking
I
about?
believe it's ending her life.
At this point, Anissa has stopped crying and lost the outward appearance of emotional upset. Perhaps she is just becoming numb, or alternatively, it could be a representation of a pathology of narcissism or sociopathy.
And I regret it.
Okay. And that's something you probably recognize today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen stories on the news about shootings in like Milwaukee and all that, but I never fully understood what it meant to kill somebody. So now.
Until you saw it happening?
Mm-hmm.
Saying that she never understood what it meant to kill until she saw it happening really sounds like a juvenile mind at play here. But sociopathy, along with other mental diseases, can manifest at a very early age.
Do you think that you could be able to physically do that now?
No.
And why is that?
Just, I'm too nice of a person. I'm too nice and too squeamish.
Squeamish.
Like, I can stand blood if it's my own, but if I have to physically make someone else bleed for my personal gain, I won't do it. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Now, since this
I mean,
Yeah.
hey man, look, I'm not a fighter or whatever, but I mean, if pushed to the edge, you know, these hands already eat for everyone, so I don't know, man.
Okay.
What about y'all, chat? Y'all feel the same as that way? Y'all feel the same as that way? You know what I mean? That's all, I don't know, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's like my bullets and my fists bisexual. Bisexual heads. Hey, man.
Anissa thinks she is too nice of a person to kill someone. This is a fascinating disassociation from the recent attempted killing. Her mental state at this point seems to be bouncing between clarity and understanding, all the way to nonsensical denials of reality, which is not uncommon with juveniles.
I didn't want to do this.
Why did you do it then?
I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't.
Psychosis with persecution seems to be presenting itself here. Delusions of persecution make someone convinced that someone is mistreating, conspiring against, or planning to harm them or their loved ones. These obsessions can grow to disrupt a person's ability to live a normal, everyday life, as it clearly has with Morgan. These false beliefs can range from highly improbable, such as fear of neighbors spying on you, to completely irrational, such as believing in something paranormal, like Slender Man. Since hallucinations are closely tied with these delusions, It's no surprise that Morgan's supposed sightings of the creepy man only stoked her fear more. And as we saw earlier with Morgan's comments about being left to rot and die in jail and not wanting her head cut off, her delusions of persecution extend to real-world authority figures as well.
So you said that you were afraid?
Mm-hmm.
What were you afraid of?
Pretty much anything.
Being afraid of pretty much anything is a classic persecution symptom associated with schizophrenia.
Because Anissa would already just jump on her. I was hoping that we would and think she could forget that.
That who would forget?
Chat, what is y'all's biggest fear? What are y'all afraid of? Dying life. That's deep. Meeting people like this, getting caught in the shooting. I'm not looking scared of anything. Very interesting. Y'all have very interesting fears. What is my fear? It's weird. I would say bugs, but I'm not really that afraid of bugs, bro. I'm just grossed out by them, but I'm not really afraid of them. I could kill a bug any day of the week. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'd rather sit down and think about it, really. I know I have some fears, but I just can't really think about it, really. I don't know. Flying cockroaches? Oh my god, yeah, fuck them things. Those things need to burn, bro. Holy shit, I hate them.
R-word accusations and coming across evil niggas like the twins.
Yeah, that is pretty
Bella would have freaked out, and then Anissa would have
Take care of a child that's not yours? Really?
I didn't want to get hurt.
You didn't want to get hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think about how Bella would feel if she get hurt?
I avoided that thought. Anissa said something about us having to.
Avoiding thoughts about how the victim would feel is a common disassociation presentation among the mentally ill. As both girls' interrogations wind to a close, there are a few more interesting elements to touch on. In Anissa's case, one of the most intriguing moments happens right towards the end.
Can I ask a question? Yes. Where's Bella's body now? Bella's at the hospital.
Where's Bella's body now?
I thought it was still out there. The crime scene.
They still think that she's dead. That's crazy.
She is alive. Okay.
This curiosity is so interesting, and when Anissa learns that Peyton is still alive, her sigh of what seems to be relief may be a notion of remorse, although it is hard to tell from this single indicator.
How does that make you feel? It makes me feel kind of happy. Kind of worried that, I'm just scared all around.
What are you worried about?
I know she'll never trust me again and that she eats my guts.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty serious what happened. She was very, very close to dying today.
Okay.
Very close. The doctors were able to save her.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
Makes you feel good that she's alive?
Mm-hmm.
W doctors, y'all.
She may be starting to grasp the severity of her circumstances now, but it's hard to gauge when taking her immature and possibly mentally ill mind into account.
And at the very least, they won't get a murder charge. Both of them won't get a murder charge, but they are still definitely getting they're definitely getting they're for sure getting some time, especially for attempted murder. So yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
I need to go back to school.
What day is it today? Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be able to go back to school on Monday. But at some point in time, you'll be able to go back to school.
Okay.
Okay.
How many stab wounds did they find?
19.
Damn!
Well, you counted 17.
19?
Was she counting out loud as she was doing it?
No, she was counting in her head, I think.
I swear I thought it was a good 7 stabs. I thought it was 7 stabs. She stabbed her 19 times? My nigga? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Are my clothes being cut apart?
No,
Okay.
they're being dried to ensure that blood is dry on it.
Okay.
Okay? It can also be a biohazard, right?
Okay. I just realized something.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't go to school on Monday, that'll be the first day I miss a day of school.
You're kidding, you've never missed a day of school?
Never. The last time I remember missing a day of school was because of my great-grandfather's funeral.
Wow.
And that was in 3rd grade.
Anissa's still worried about kid stuff despite a very adult crime on her hands. It's safe to say she has no idea how much serious trouble she is in at this point.
Yep.
Am I ever gonna get my clothes back?
I don't know if you're gonna get those clothes
Shit
back.
is done for her,
I don't know if
man.
You want those clothes back? Do you want those clothes back? I mean, you can have them. You probably could have them back at some point in time. Yeah, they have the blood on it and stuff. I don't know, but
It honestly makes me feel a lot better knowing that she's alive.
good. Does it worry you won't see Slender? Or do you think he does not exist?
He does not exist. He is a work of fiction. And I believe that people who say that they've seen him in person have read creepypastas and then recall memories of a strange tree and said it was Slender. Because I know that was one of the cases.
10 minutes left of this, bro.
Back in the tree, and it was
Yeah, drink.
strange. Did Morgan know that Belle was alive?
I don't know. I don't know if Detective Casey told her. Oh, And were you hoping that she was gonna die when you guys ran off? Were you hoping she was gonna die so you could see Slender? Is that the whole? Or
Part of me kind of wanted this to fail just because I hear about manslaughter and all that on TV, and it doesn't bother me much, but when I see it, it traumatizes me. But the other part of me wanted her to die. But part of me wanted to. The bad part of me wanted her to die. But the good part of me wanted her to live.
Really?
Conflicted feeling between one's good side and bad side could be a precursor of schizophrenic behavior, but it's only a subtle potential indicator at this point.
it was scary for her. Where she was stabbed was near the heart. They did have to go in and incision and open up her chest and sew part of her heart to repair it.
Okay.
And then after that, they had to open up her stomach because her pancreas was cut. A part of her liver was cut and some of her stomach.
Yeah, Morgan said she got her in the stomach.
So those were very serious injuries, and she was very near to death. So what you guys were trying to accomplish today was very close to happening. Okay, but the doctors were able to fix her. And
What about the fake gash on her leg right there?
I'm sure they were going to be able to sew that up. There's no major arteries in the leg right there. Okay, it's up as you get closer to your pelvic bone. But yeah, this is pretty serious, and I know that you were worried about, execution and stuff like that. We don't have the death penalty in Wisconsin. Okay. You're 12 years old. I'm honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here. Okay. Something horrific happened today. And I know you realize that now.
I regret it.
Okay. But we've got to accept some responsibility here. And by giving me that statement, you're accepting some responsibility. You're very honest with me, and you cooperated with me, and that means a lot. That means a lot to Peyton. Okay.
From Anissa's calm demeanor, it's apparent that reality hasn't settled in yet. Even when the interrogator finally reads her story back to her and asks if anything is incorrect or if she missed anything, Anissa feels it is important to add more information about another creepypasta character.
Could you add that Slenderman and Zalgo have proxies?
Zalgo?
Yes.
How do you spell Zalgo?
Zalgo.
Zalgo also has a proxy, has proxies. Is Zalgo like Slenderman?
He's supposed to be this demon with 7 mouths.
Oh, that's the demon.
Okay. Yes.
So what I just read to you was the statement that, that is written here.
Morgan is compliant as her interview ends and she is handcuffed. In the aftermath of this crime, officers found a message written on the notepad of Anissa's phone. It was from May 28th and read, "My final wish to those who care, do not grieve my absence, but remember me for who I was. I love and cherish you all and wouldn't do you harm. I want everything I own to go to my parents, and best wishes to all that know me personally. Do not miss me." Recovering notebooks from Anissa and Morgan.
Why does that sound like a suicide note? Sounds more like she's writing like a suicide note rather than just like whatever. Bro.
Lockers at school revealed drawings that appear to show bloody figures, characters holding knives, and Slenderman sketches. Emails between two addresses called Hermione G516 and Alexandria Wire were also recovered, exchanging furtive messages like, "Make sure not to leave any traces, because when said events happen, the school will search your email," and "I told myself not to feel emotions, and it worked." One, which appeared to be from Anissa, read, "But clever girls dressed to kill are bittersweet. I think that may be us." Peyton was interviewed after recovering, and although she gave authorities many details on what had happened to her, when asked what Morgan did to her specifically, she replied, "I can't say it, it's too sad." She revealed that Morgan whispered, "I'm so sorry," to her before starting. She claims Morgan told her it was the only way to save Peyton's life because one of the creepypasta characters was stalking her. Peyton told Morgan she doubted it, but Morgan said, "We're not joking." To this day, Peyton is left with emotional scars that will affect her for the rest of her life. For months after the attack, she slept with scissors under her pillow for protection, and she keeps her bedroom windows closed and locked, refusing to open the curtains just in case. She was excited to return to school that same September,
she's really
eager to get
traumatized
back
now.
into a normal routine after working to recover from the traumatic event. Her community rallied together, wearing purple to honor her favorite color, and raising thousands of dollars to help cover her medical expenses. Morgan and Anissa were charged in adult court with first-degree attempted intentional homicide. Morgan pleaded guilty and was convicted, but as part of an agreement was found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Anissa pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of being a party to attempted second-degree intentional homicide, but she was eventually found by a jury to be not guilty by mental disease or defect. Psychologists agree that Morgan and Anissa's friendship created a perfect storm of shared delusion. It was revealed that Morgan's father had suffered from a similar mental illness as his daughter when he was an adolescent and was hospitalized at least 4 times, showing that Morgan's early-onset schizophrenia may have had a genetic basis. Doctors testified in 2014 that she believed she had Vulcan mind control abilities, could speak to Voldemort, that unicorns and Pegasus were real, and that she could communicate with not only Slenderman, but also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Bro,
In recent years, her mental health has reportedly seen significant improvements. Still, at one point, a state psychologist told the judge that she would not support Morgan being granted a conditional release, as she had been hearing the voice of Maggie, a hallucinatory voice she has been hearing for years, again. Anissa was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, major depression, and personality disorder. Her defense argued that she was under the command and control of a delusional disorder linked to schizotypy, a diminished ability to separate reality from fantasy.
Bro.
Although no apology will...
Bro, this shit was really over here talking about, yeah, I can speak to Ninja Turtles and shit. But she over here talking to fucking... She over here talking to Leonardo and shit, asking, where do I find Shredder? Yeah, bro, nah.
Ever be able to erase what Peyton endured. It's interesting to note that both girls have expressed that they are sorry for what they did. Anissa was sentenced to 25 years, and Morgan the maximum of 40 in a mental health institution. However, in the summer of 2021, there has been a recent update to this case. A judge agreed to a petition for conditional release from Anissa, which argued that the 19-year-old young woman is no longer a threat to herself or society. Based on hospital staff's reports that Anissa didn't exhibit psychotic behaviors, it's been ordered that state officials produce her release plan, and she was scheduled a hearing on September 10th. In a letter to the court, she asserted that she has exhausted the resources available to her at the mental health institution and needs to rejoin society in order to become a productive member of it. And when the anticipated day of the hearing finally arrived, a Wisconsin judge ruled that Anissa would indeed be granted her release from the psychiatric hospital on September 13th. The full report on her conditions of release has not been released to the public, but the judge has stated that Anissa had a clean mental health history and that there is no clear evidence that she poses a substantial risk of harm to others or herself. Anissa herself informed the court that she plans to live with her father and look for part-time work. She will remain under constant GPS monitoring until otherwise determined. She also hopes to pursue higher education. She's expressed, "I want to reiterate that I'm not saying I'm done growing, changing, evolving, or adapting. I just can't do it here anymore." Reports indicate that she will be under strict regulations, such as not being allowed to use the internet except at home, and any time she does use it, her activity will be monitored by the State Department of Corrections. She won't be able to consume alcohol or drugs, enter a bar, possess a weapon, or have any contact with Peyton or her family. Peyton has expressed that she doesn't have fear of what might happen upon her attackers' releases. She's assured that if they try anything funny, they'll go right back. She's even said that she feels grateful in a way for what happened to her, because it has inspired her to pursue a career in the medical field. Coming out of such a horrible situation, she's expressed, "Parents need to talk to their kids directly, saying, 'This is not real, this is fake' when it comes to online figures like Slenderman." And to kids stuck in bad friendships, she has advised them to listen to their gut and get out before something bad happens, even if they feel guilted into staying friends with that person.
What was that last part?
Because it has inspired her to pursue a career in the medical field. Coming out of such a horrible situation, she's expressed, "Parents need to talk to their kids directly, saying, 'This is not real, this is fake' when it comes to online figures like Slenderman."
Factual.
And to kids stuck in bad friendships, she has advised them to listen to their gut and get out before something bad happens.
Factual.
Even if they feel guilted into staying friends with that person.
They facts, y'all. That goes for y'all niggas in chat too. Look, y'all are friends with somebody and you're starting to like notice some things about them that are like a little bit off from the norm. Like, let's say, you know, they're on some like how do I say this without being offensive? They're on some Columbine shit. You feel me? Like, if you notice that they're on some Columbine shit, then yeah, I would highly advise you to kind of stray away from them. You know what I mean? I would hate for y'all to be in some shit. You dig?